Oh boy, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you believe your eyes if Sammy ended up with a different team in the way that we are going to be talking about in this video? So, Sammy Montembeault, Montreal Canadiens starting goaltender. I think he's been a pretty good player the past few years. That's safe to say, right? Montembeault is 28 years old, 6'3", 198. We all know him, we all love him. He signed on till the end of 2027, making $3.15 million a year. Montembeault this recent season had a .902 save percentage and a .282 goals against average, plus a .908 save percentage in the postseason. Now, admittedly, those numbers aren't, amazing. A .908 in the playoffs is actually really good, but a .902 in the regular season, that's, slightly above average. The goals against is roughly around the average, and maybe a little lower too. But the crazy part about Montembeault is the fact that he literally played 62 gosh darn games this year. The guy was a tank. The guy was relied upon, the guy was utilized, and the guy played some of the most productive loads in the NHL. That's the worst word I could have used. I'm sorry. The guy played one of the heaviest loads. Okay, that's even worse. In the league this most recent year, only 2 goalies had more games played than Sammy Montembeault, and they only had 1 each in Vasilevsky and Hellebuck. Yeah, you could definitely see that these guys had much higher save percentages, but then again, they play on better teams, so it's okay, is that really an indictment against Montembeault, or is that just indicative of the situation? I think it's more so of that situation there in Montreal. Nobody expected them to make the playoffs after all. But Montembeault, for as good as he is, he's the Montreal guy. And we all remember how it was that Montembeault ended up finding himself in Montreal. It was in 2021, he was put onto waivers, and then he was claimed by the Habs. Take a look at this. He went from Florida over to Montreal on October 1st, 2021. Claimed off of waivers there. In fact, I want to see if I can find the YouTube video that we made back in 2021 of Montembeault getting claimed, and I'm searching it up right here. Montembeault Lego Rocks 99, claim, waivers, something like that. It was 2021. Yes, I was in the gosh darn mall. I was in Metrotown with a mask because it was 2021 and everybody was still scared about the Rona. So, yeah, we made a quick vlog, 2 minutes there, talking about it. I was with my friends, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. But, yeah, this is the best waiver claim the Habs have ever made. Sammy Montembeault. Look at that thumbnail. Go all Arnold on ya, baby. I'll be back. Anyways, the reason we are talking about Sammy Montembeault in this video commentary today is not because of any rumors or trade discussion linking him to Edmonton. It's because we're going to be linking him to the gosh darn Utah Mammoth, or Arizona Coyotes, or Phoenix Coyotes? Nah, Arizona. Here's an article posted on HabsSolomonFan.com. It'll be linked in the description. It features Sammy Montembeault, and it goes over what Andre Tourigny said, revealing that Sammy Montembeault came close to ending up in Arizona. Marco Normandin published this article a few days ago. Again, it'll be linked in the description. Since his arrival in Montreal, Quebec goaltender Sammy Montembeault has continued to perform beyond expectations. He found himself in a difficult situation, to say the least, when he became the #1 goalie for a team in the midst of rebuilding, with the pressure to win in Montreal. Montembeault delivers the goods and allows the Canadiens to remain competitive in every game. But he came close to never wearing a Canadiens uniform. It was on an obscure interview on a community TV show, Les Amis de Telecourt, that Andre Tourigny revealed this information. The Utah Mammoth head coach said that when he was waived by Florida in 2021, he had Montembeault in his sights while coaching the Arizona Coyotes. Here is the quote. "I was following it closely at the time with the Estacades. Estacades? Is there a better word for that? I do not know what estacades even means. Estacades. I think it's the Trois Rivers Lions. That's what it is, right? I might be embarrassing myself. I don't know. Maybe it was lost in translation. The thing isn't French after all, but he said here, and then I was following him with the Armada, his draft in Florida. When he was put on waivers, he was a guy we had interest in. And then the Canadiens picked him up. It can be said that the Canadiens were lucky to take a chance on the Quebec goalie, who, we will remember, was the Panthers' number 3 at the time and had very modest stats. We realize today that he probably would have been the Utah Mammoth's number 1 goalie if the Canadiens hadn't claimed him on waivers at the time. See the video clip below. Now here's the thing, the Les Amis de Telecour show is on Facebook, and this is the clip itself. I'm just going to mute my screen over here. You can see... Okay, now I'm getting some reels. I just paused the thing. Yeah, I don't want to showcase any corn, dancing corn with a hair on top, whatever that is. But there is an Andre Tourigny clip on Facebook where he goes out there and talks about how, for the Arizona Coyotes, these guys were interested in Samuel Montembeault. And all I got to think about is, man, they might have actually been able to claim him. Let's go over to the NHL standings and try to take a look at where things were in 2021. So here we go, 2020, 2021. We'll go over to the league, and then we'll sort by reverse points. Where is Montreal? Okay, Montreal is here. They made the playoffs miraculously with 59 points in 56 games played. Thank you to the North Division, but Arizona was 22nd in the NHL with 54 points, meaning that if they put in a claim for Samuel Montembeault, they would have been first in the priority over Montreal. It was Florida, who was one of the best teams in the NHL, that was putting Montembeault on waivers in that 2021 offseason. And Montreal was like, okay, sure, we'll do it. We're 18th in the priority. Let's just see what happens. They put in a claim, it went through, and then you saw yourselves the best waiver claim the Canadiens have ever made. But Arizona, they're right there. They were in the mix, and they were also intrigued. But here's the thing. You gotta remember this about the date. It was at the beginning of October. And sure, back in 2021, the league was going through a very strange transition. Seasons were getting cut short. Seasons were starting later. Seasons were all over the place. We had the draft and free agency and the finals all take place in the span of a few days in one of these years. It was a really strange time, and my YouTube coverage of the thing will always be skewed because of the COVID-ruined seasons. But generally speaking, this is kind of what we see out of waiver situations in October. It wasn't necessarily like that in 2021, but normally nowadays you'll see, all right, teams are going to put guys on waivers right before the season starts because at that point, usually teams have their teams figured out. They'd have their guys, they have their rosters, they have their cap management. It's all there. So when a brand new dude gets placed on waivers right before the season begins, it's like, oh crap, there's a guy available. But like, we have our team already set. We don't really have the room. We don't have the space. We don't have the money. Oh, screw it. Let's just pass on the guy. But Montreal and Montembeault were able to find themselves a pathway together. But Andre Tourigny goes out there and says that Arizona was right up in there too. And that almost happened as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this new information that Montembeault almost became an Arizona Coyote? Would they have ruined him? Would they have been able to get the best out of him? If Montembeault was on the Utah Mammoth right now, how well would he perform as a goaltender over there? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.